Most people think cruelty is the ultimate weapon. They think that if you strip away all kindness, if you grind your heart into stone and sharpen your will into a blade, you will be unstoppable. They are wrong. The most dangerous person in the room is not the loud tyrant, nor the cold-blooded manipulator who leaves corpses of trust behind them. The most dangerous person is the one who can look into your soul, feel your pain as if it were their own, and still use it against you without flinching. That is the Dark Empath. A Dark Empath is not born from emptiness, but from the excess of understanding. They are fluent in the secret language of human nature. They sense what you need, what you fear, what you crave to hear in moments of doubt. And while the average empath uses this power to heal, the Dark Empath uses it to control. They can wrap cruelty in compassion so skillfully that you will thank them for breaking you. You will mistake their calculated dominance for guidance, their manipulation for mentorship, their quiet conquests for love. Machiavelli understood this long before the term existed. He wrote that a prince should appear merciful, faithful, humane, sincere, religious, even when he is not. This appearance is the key, because humans cling to illusions that flatter their needs. The Dark Empath is the embodiment of this principle. They are merciful only when mercy furthers their cause. They are sincere only when sincerity disarms suspicion. They wield kindness like a dagger hidden in silk. To the untrained eye, they seem safe. Their eyes hold warmth. Their tone is gentle. Their presence inviting. They will listen to you when no one else does. They will let you speak the secrets you've guarded for years. And in that moment, while your guard drops, they will be studying you with surgical precision. Every sigh, every hesitation, every nervous laugh becomes data they can use. They learn how to pull you closer when they need you, and how to push you to the edge when they want to test your loyalty. You won't even realize you are in their game until the rules no longer matter. The danger of the Dark Empath lies not in their cruelty, but in their patience. Purely ruthless people reveal themselves quickly. They burn bridges, leave scars, and inspire enemies who band together for revenge. But a Dark Empath creates no obvious wounds. They operate slowly, building a bond so strong that even when you begin to see the manipulation, you will doubt your own instincts. You will tell yourself they mean well. You will rationalize their betrayals as misunderstandings. You will excuse their dominance because they care. They are dangerous because they can love you and still destroy you. They can speak the truth that heals you and the lie that enslaves you, sometimes in the same sentence. Their power comes from walking the knife's edge between light and dark, never fully committing to either. It makes them unpredictable, impossible to corner. And when someone is impossible to corner, you cannot defeat them. They know your ego better than you do. They will feed it in public and dismantle it in private, keeping you dependent on their approval. They will mirror your values to gain your trust, only to reveal, at the critical moment, that your values now belong to them. You will think they are building you up when in fact they are building a throne from the pieces of your will. Machiavelli would tell you this: the ultimate weapon is control without visible force. The Dark Empath's genius is making you choose the very chains they designed for you. You will believe you are free even as you act entirely in their interests. And when you finally realize what they've done, you will find that you can't escape without tearing down the very identity they've helped you create. They aren't always leaders in the traditional sense. Sometimes they are the quiet advisor in the shadow of the king. Sometimes they are the friend who knows just enough about everyone to make themselves irreplaceable. Sometimes they are the lover who knows how to make you feel like the most powerful person in the room, while subtly ensuring that all roads lead back to them. Their strength comes from invisibility. Their influence is woven into decisions, alliances, and emotions so seamlessly that no one can trace it back to them. If a Dark Empath decides you are useful, they will keep you close. They will praise your strengths while quietly reminding you of your weaknesses. They will encourage your growth, but only within the boundaries they set. And they will make those boundaries feel like your own choice. You will think they are protecting you from the dangers of the world, when in truth they are protecting their position in your life. If a Dark Empath decides you are a threat, they will not attack you openly. They will dismantle your alliances one by one, planting seeds of doubt that sprout into mistrust. They will twist your words into weapons that others use against you. And when you are isolated, they will offer you a way back on their terms. You will accept it because it will seem like mercy, but it will be ownership. The world fears the wolf because it bares its teeth, but the dark empath wears the skin of a shepherd, guiding you into the pen before the slaughter. You follow willingly because they never push, they only lead. To defend yourself against them, you must first understand this truth. They are not driven by the need to destroy. They are driven by the need to control. Destruction is simply one tool in their arsenal. The real danger is their ability to make you surrender without realizing you've lost. And yet, the most unsettling thing is that you might want to become one of them. Because in a world where pure empathy is devoured and pure ruthlessness is hunted, the dark empath survives. They thrive. They bend the rules without breaking the image. They take what they want without appearing to steal. They move through every social structure like a ghost, leaving behind no proof, only influence. What would it take for you to step onto that path? Could you learn to see people's hidden emotions? To listen not for their words, but for their fears? Could you mirror their dreams so perfectly that they see you as the keeper of those dreams? Could you withhold just enough kindness to make them crave your approval? And most importantly, could you do all of this without losing the mask of virtue? This is the game they play. And the moment you realize it, you will face the question no one dares to ask. Is it better to resist them or to become them? They will never tell you this openly, because society pretends that only pure empathy is virtuous. But Machiavelli would have recognized the truth. Empathy alone is powerless. It binds you in the suffering of others, forcing you to sacrifice yourself for causes that may not even deserve your loyalty. Power, on the other hand, when paired with cold calculation, makes you feared. The dark empath blends both. They listen to your story, nod at the right moments, understand your pain, then use that knowledge as ammunition. It's not cruelty for cruelty's sake. It's precision. It's strategy. It's the ability to dismantle someone not by force, but by guiding them into dismantling themselves. The ordinary empath is a shield. The dark empath is a sword disguised as a shield. They do not waste energy announcing their strength. They do not boast about their insight. They simply position themselves where you feel safest and where you are therefore weakest. Imagine a general in war who sits in the enemy camp, wearing their uniform, sharing their meals, listening to their fears, knowing exactly when to strike. The enemy doesn't just fall in battle, they hand over the keys to the fortress themselves. The first layer of dangerous power is invisibility. The second is intimacy. Dark empaths understand that real control comes not from standing above people, but from standing so close to them that they mistake you for an ally. You learn their dreams, their insecurities, their patterns, and then you adjust your moves like a master chess player who knows every opening, every trap. You don't force them to move their king into danger. They do it willingly, thinking it's their idea. But here's the terrifying part. Dark empaths don't only do this with enemies. They do it with allies too. To them, everyone is a potential source of advantage or a potential threat. Machiavelli himself wrote that loyalty is never absolute. It's maintained only as long as it serves mutual interest. The dark empath doesn't see betrayal as dishonor. They see it as an inevitable part of power. They can make you feel like you are the most important person in the world because, in that moment, you are. Not because of love or friendship, but because you are useful. And when you are no longer useful, they do not rage or curse. They simply disappear. This is why they are so dangerous. The rage-filled, the impulsive, the overtly cruel. They reveal themselves too soon. The dark empath doesn't. They let you keep your illusions until it is far too late. You might think this is all manipulation, and you'd be right. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Life is manipulation. Politics is manipulation. Even kindness can be strategic. The dark empath simply admits this to themselves, while others hide behind the mask of innocence. They know that being too transparent makes you prey. Being too cold makes you obvious. But being warm enough to be trusted and cold enough to be calculated, that's the balance that creates unstoppable influence. There's also a psychological element that makes them nearly impossible to defeat. They genuinely understand people, not as data points or stereotypes, but as living, breathing creatures with shifting needs and fragile egos. Most manipulative personalities fail because they don't truly care to see the other person's perspective. The Dark Empath does. And that's why their influence feels different. It feels personal. Once they have that connection, they can make people act against their own self-interest without ever raising their voice. They can convince someone to give up power while believing it's a gain. They can make surrender feel like victory, and they can walk away, leaving no fingerprints on the crime scene. If you want to understand how dangerous they are, you have to think like Machiavelli did. He understood that fear is more reliable than love, but he also knew that the appearance of love can create deeper loyalty than fear ever could. The Dark Empath plays both sides. They inspire trust while quietly planting seeds of fear. Fear that you might lose their approval. Fear that they might vanish from your life. Fear that your secrets, now in their possession, could be revealed. And they do all of this while smiling, while touching your arm at the right moment, while laughing at your jokes. You never see the blade until it's in your back, and by then you might even think you deserved it. The real question is not whether dark empaths exist, they always have. The question is how to protect yourself from them, or, if you choose, how to become one yourself. Because to fight a predator, you can't remain prey. You have to understand the hunt. You have to be willing to step into that morally gray territory where empathy is a weapon, not a weakness. Machiavelli would never have condemned such a figure. He would have studied them, admired them, maybe even feared them. And if you learn to merge empathy with strategy, you won't just survive the power games around you. You'll dominate them. You'll make allies out of enemies, pawns out of rivals, and kings out of yourself. And the most dangerous part? No one will ever know how you did it. They will tell you the Dark Empath is a paradox that cannot exist. Someone who feels deeply yet destroys without hesitation. This is the illusion they want you to believe, because if you ever understood how such a personality operates, you would stop fearing them and start becoming them. The truth is, empathy and cruelty are not opposites. They are twin blades held in the same hand. The Dark Empath is not a monster without feeling. They are a monster because they feel. They read your every micro-expression, every shift in tone, every nervous tick you try to hide. And while others are busy projecting their own thoughts onto the world, the Dark Empath is mapping yours with surgical precision. They know your fears before you speak them. They see the cracks in your confidence before you feel them. And unlike the cold manipulator who relies only on logic, or the pure empath who drowns in compassion, the Dark Empath walks the razor's edge, able to weaponize kindness in the morning and betrayal in the evening without either move breaking their self-image. They are not simply acting. They are shifting their entire inner world to match what you need to see in order to lower your guard. This is why the Dark Empath can make you love them and fear them in the same breath. You'll think they are the only one who understands you, but you'll also feel a quiet pressure, a subtle sense that disappointing them would be a mistake you could never undo. That duality keeps people bound, not with chains, but with invisible threads of obligation, attraction, and dread. And the more you rely on them, the more those threads weave into a web that you will one day realize is impossible to escape. Machiavelli would have seen the Dark Empath as the perfect ruler in an age of shifting alliances and silent wars. Unlike the brute, they don't need to use open violence to gain loyalty. Unlike the saint, they don't need to rely on the fragile goodwill of the masses. They can be adored without being trusted, feared without being hated. That balance is the hardest trick in all of power. Most fail because they lean too far toward one side. The Dark Empath does not fail. To become one, you must first shed the belief that empathy is inherently noble. You must learn that understanding someone's pain doesn't require you to heal it. In fact, sometimes it requires you to let it grow, to push exactly where the wound is softest until the person changes in the direction you desire. This is not cruelty without reason, it is cruelty with precision. And precision cruelty is far more effective than brute force. Second, you must master your emotional camouflage. This means controlling your facial expressions so completely that no one can tell when you're lying, not because you look blank, but because you look exactly how they expect you to look in that moment. An offended silence here, a warm smile there, a shared laugh that feels genuine because, in that moment, you've convinced yourself it is genuine. Your emotions become tools you pick up and set down at will. Third, you must learn to be a mirror. When someone looks into your eyes, they should see their own best self reflected back. This makes you magnetic. People will project their hopes, their dreams, their secrets onto you, thinking you are safe. They will tell you everything without realizing they've given you the keys to control them. But the most dangerous weapon in the Dark Empath's arsenal is patience. They do not rush the moment of betrayal. They wait until the person is most invested, most dependent, most convinced that the bond between them is unshakable. Then, when the moment is right, they pull a single thread and everything collapses. The victim will not even hate them. They will hate themselves for trusting so completely. That is the ultimate power, to leave someone broken without lifting a sword. The Dark Empath thrives in a world obsessed with appearances. They can be the charming leader, the devoted friend, the romantic partner who seems to know exactly what you need. But beneath every gesture lies calculation. Even their acts of generosity are investments with interest. And the return on those investments is not measured in money. It is measured in influence, control, and the ability to dictate the terms of every interaction. If you understand this type, you will see them everywhere, in boardrooms, in politics, in friendships, even in your own family. They are the ones who always seem to know the right thing to say, the ones who draw people close without ever fully revealing themselves. They are the ones who can listen for hours but never be truly known. And while most people are playing the game of life with their cards face up, the Dark Empath plays with a deck you didn't even know was in the game. To wield this power yourself is not without risk. The constant shifting of self can erode the truth of who you are. If you are not careful, you may become lost in the roles you play, unsure if the mask is still a mask or if it has fused to your face. But for those who can balance the act, who can remain in control of the mask while using it to bend the world, the rewards are unparalleled. You will not just win, people will give you victory willingly, thinking it was their idea all along. This is the truth Machiavelli would have whispered in the ears of those ready to rule. The world does not belong to the strongest or the smartest or even the most ruthless. It belongs to the ones who can feel and manipulate feeling, to the ones who can enter another's soul, rearrange the furniture, and leave without a trace. That is the Dark Empath. That is the most dangerous personality in existence. And if you dare to walk that path, you will find that the greatest power of all is not in being loved, nor feared, but in being both by the same person at the same time. And when you can do that, you will no longer need to chase power. Power will come to you, kneel at your feet, and beg to stay.